Good morning to all. Hope you all are well. And today we are going to start our new chapter. Okay, so our block 1 is germination of seed. Can you say which subject I am going to teach you? Is it mathematics? No. Then science? Yes, it's science. Today we are going to discuss about our first chapter or first block in science, that is germination of seed. Okay, so before going to start our class, I am introduce myself. I am Delna in Matthew, and this year we will discuss the topic or different chapters in science. Okay, so we know that plants are very important for us. We are depend the plants for directly or indirectly. We are depending the plants for our food, shelter, and even breathing also we are depending the plants. So plants are very important for us. Here you can see seeds. Okay, germination of seed is our first block, and the seeds can produce a new plant. Okay, so how they are producing the new plant, or what are the main parts of seeds, and how can they produce the new or young ones, and what are the stages it's going on, that all the things we are discussing in this chapter. So our first block is, when we consider our first block, that considered as parts of a seed, parts of a seed. In this lesson, we are mainly going to study about the parts of a seed, and we are describe their function. So its aim, here we have an aim for this topic, and that aim is to identify the parts of a seed and describe their functions. So here what we are going to study, to identify the parts of a seed and describe their function. Okay, if we consider a seed, it has some kinds of parts, means the different parts are there, and these parts we are mainly discussing in two ways: inner part and exterior part, or external part, inner and outer. Okay, and let us discuss it. You just consider, if it is this we considered as a seed. Okay, this is a seed. Here we are consider both case, inner and outer part. First we are going to discuss about the outer part. This is the outer covering of the seed. Maybe you also see different kinds of seeds like mango, apple, pea, like the different seeds you may be seeing. And the parts that is visible to our eyes, that outer part is considered as seed coat. That outer part of a seed is considered as seed coat. And seed coat, this is considered as seed coat. And what is its function? We need to identify the parts, at the same time we have to find its function. And this seed coat actually protect the inner part of an seed. Inner part we will discuss, and the seed coat actually what it happens, it protect the inner part of a seed. Okay, and it will not, it means it will be a hard outer covering, it protect the inner part of a seed. Okay, and at the same time the seed coat may be thick or thin. If we consider the coconut, its seed coat is very thick and hard. And if we consider the seed coat of pea or like that kind of case, their seed coat is very thin and soft. So we can say that the seed coat either thick or thin. Okay, not only thick, not only thin. Okay, it may be thick or thin. Okay, if it is thick, then maybe it will be more hard, and thin it will be lighter or soft. Okay, that's all about the first part of an seed, that is the outer covering of an seed is considered as seed coat. And the second thing is, how to pronounce this? Hilum. Okay, this hilum is, here you can see that the inner covering in mark like inner covering or inner curve, like an curve, you can see that inside a curve. This curving portion is considered as hilum. Okay, this curved portion, the inside curving is considered as hilum. Okay, and it is attached to the this hilum attached the seed to the pot of a plant. So these two are the external part of a seed. What are the external parts? Seed coat and hilum. And when we are going to our inner part, here you can see one diagram. This is the inner part of a seed. Here also this we can consider as a seed coat. This is outer part only, seed coat. Okay, and this portion, okay, this complete and this part, okay, this is considered as cotyledons or seed leaves. Cotyledons, normally you can consider it is cotyledon. Okay, the second part, here we can consider it's a cotyledon. And what is the function of this cotyledon? This is inner part, and this inside this together, this part is considered as embryo. And in embryo we normally consider two things. This one is radicle, and like leaf structure you can see, this is plumule. What is this? Plumule. First we can, these are the inner parts of a seed. First part we can consider like cotyledon. What is the speciality of this cotyledon? Actually, this cotyledon store the food for the baby plant. This is our baby plant like embryo, and this cotyledon provide the food to this baby plant or embryo. Okay, cotyledons mean it provide the food and nourishment to the seed. What is the speciality? Or cotyledon is one of the inner part of an seed, and what is its speciality? Cotyledon speciality is it provide the food and nourishment to the seed or to the embryo. Okay, that baby plant, it require food and water, all those things. All these things are provided by who? This cotyledons. Are you clear? And seeds we can divide it into two types, dicot seeds and monocot seeds. Seeds can be divided on the basis of cotyledons. We can divide the seed into two types, that are dicot and monocot seed. Normally the seed that we can divide it into two types. What are they? Monocot and dicot. Monocot seed and dicot seed. Monocot seeds are the seeds which contain only one. Mono means one, di means two. Okay, if a seed have only one cotyledons, if a seed have only one cotyledon, it is considered as monocot seed, and if the seed has two cotyledons, then it is considered as dicot seed. So seeds we can divide it into two types, monocot and dicot seed, according to the number of cotyledons. Can you say the example of this? This dicot seed example, we can consider groundnut and beans. These all we can consider as an example for dicot seed. And monocot seeds like rice, maize, wheat, these all example of monocot seed. You just keep in mind that example also. So seeds we can divide it according to the number of cotyledons. We can divide it into two types, monocot seeds and dicot seed. Are you clear? Then another part, first inner part is cotyledon and another part is embryo. Okay, embryo. So we can consider two parts are there. That two parts, inner part and outer part. And inner part, first part we discussed that first part is, in the inner case, first part is cotyledon and second one is embryo. Actually it's embryo, and embryo is considered as the baby plant. Okay, in this embryo there will be two parts are there, radicle and plumule. Okay, when a seed is undergo germination or it sprout, okay, sprout to a new plant. So first this radicle is coming out first. Radicle is the first root of a plant. If we see, when we look around us, you can see the different kinds of plants are there, and the parts which is visible to our eyes, it is considered as shoot. In a plant it has two parts, root and shoot system. Root will be under the soil. Okay, so this root is the radicle. First root of an plant is considered as radicle. And when we are looking the plants around us, these plants have leaves also. Okay, this plumule is the first leaf of a plant. Okay, this plumule and radicle together we can consider it's like an embryo or a baby plant, and if it is plumule is the first leaf in a plant and radicle is first root. Okay, so that's all. These are the inner part, embryo and cotyledons. Embryo we can consider, the baby plant we can consider as an embryo, and this baby plant here you can see that it is attached to the cotyledons. Baby plant is attached to the cotyledons, and this baby plant can have two parts, plumule and radicle. This radicle is develops to form root and plumule is developed to form leaf, or we can say that this is the first root of the plant and this is the first leaf of a plant. First leaf of a plant. So that's all about the parts of a seed. Parts of a seed. In these parts, what are the things we discussed? To identify, we identify four parts of the seed. What are they? Seed coat, hilum, cotyledon and embryo. These two are the exterior part, that means outer part of the seed, and these two are the inner part of the seed. In this outer part, seed coat, it protect, it's an outer covering of the seed, at the same time it protect the inner part of the seed. Second one is hilum. Hilum, it's like an marks and it's the curving or inside curving. This curve is considered, this part is considered as hilum, and this hilum attached the seed to its spot. The next one is inner part. First one, cotyledons. This cotyledons provide food and nourishments to the embryo or baby plant, and cotyledons means when the plant means itself, after germination and germination we will discuss, until that time this cotyledons provide the food and nourishment to the seed or the embryo. And next one is embryo. Embryo is the baby plant inside the seed, and this baby plant, already I told you that the seed can produce a new plant. So that new plant is actually present, that baby plant is inside this seed. Okay, so in this embryo it's contained two main parts, that is plumule and radicle, and plumule is the first leaf of a plant, radicle is the first root of a plant. That's all about this section, and in this section we discussed some, or we learned some new words. Is it right? Yes, we learned some new words. Can you say what are the new words which are not familiar to you? What are the new things we learned? First one is seed coat. So these are, we can consider it as a keyword. Okay, keyword. Keywords that we learned in this section. First one, seed coat. In this lesson, what all the new words we learn? Seed coat, then second one is hilum, and third one is cotyledon, then embryo, then what? Plumule and radicle. Plumule and radical. These are the new words or keywords we learned in this single or our first lesson, and you should learn how to pronounce it, at the same time how to write it. That means spelling and pronunciation you should be clear. First one, seed coat, hilum, cotyledon, embryo, plumule and radicle. Okay, so that's all about our first lesson. Now we can move to our second lesson. Okay, our second lesson that we can consider as germinating seeds. Okay, our second lesson is germinating seeds. Are you clear about all these things? Parts of a seed, 4 parts: seed coat, hilum, cotyledon, embryo. Okay, embryo is the baby plant. Cotyledon provide food for the embryo. Seed coat, it protect the inner part. Hilum, it's an covering and it is attached to the pot. Okay, that's all about our first lesson. Okay, then next lesson or next main topic that we are going to discuss, that is germinating seeds. Germinating seed. This is the next lesson that we are going to discuss. And germination, here we are going to discuss how a seed germinate or what is germination. Okay, and what is the aim of this section? To deduce the necessary factors for germination. To deduce, aim of this section is to deduce the necessary factors for germination. What is germination? Germination means that when a dormant seed, what do you mean by dormant seed? Inactive seed. That means if we consider the seed of a seed that we are kept in our home itself, we are not sowing it, that is an inactive seed. Okay, when we are sowing it, then what will happen? The seed will absorb the water and all, then after that it will sprout. Okay, so a dormant seed begins to grow to an seedling is considered. Seedling means new plant. Okay, so a dormant seed begins to grow and to sprout, then form a seedling, or the development of a seed to seedling. Seedling means new plant. Okay, seed to seedling, that process is called germination, the process of transformation of seed to seedling. Or a dormant seed begins to sprout, to grow and to be a seedling under proper condition. That proper condition only we discussed about this necessary factors. Okay, so if a seed has to produce the new ones, or it's to develop from a baby plant to a new plant, for this some conditions are required. Okay, what all the condition? That only, that are the necessary factors. First one is, if we consider here, first necessary factor is presence of moisture, otherwise we can consider as presence of water. Okay, presence of moisture. Okay, and second case, presence of moisture means we know that if we are sowing the seeds, we are watering it properly. Okay, so the seed will absorb that water. Okay, so for germination, one of the necessary or essential condition is presence of moisture, and second one is right temperature or optimum temperature, temperature or this temperature in its optimum form, optimum range temperature should be get. And third one is air. These are the necessary factors for the seed to germinate: presence of moisture, right temperature and air. Now can we now we can discuss if the absence of any one of the factor case the seed can germinate or not. That only we are going to discuss now, the presence of here. So now we can rub this. These are the three essential conditions for the seed to germinate, and we can discuss it detailedly with an activity. That activity means I will ask the question, you have to write the answer. Some conditions I will tell. Okay, so here we are taking 4 test tubes. Okay, we are going to take in 4 test tubes. Okay, and all the test tubes we are providing some seeds in different condition. Okay, here our first test tube is ready, and our second test tube also we are put some seeds, and our third test tube also we add some seeds, and fourth test tube also we just provide some seeds. Okay, and here this seed kept in moist cotton. Okay, and this is our first test tube, this one is second test tube, and this one is third test tube, and this one is our fourth test tube. Okay, so seed kept in moist cotton, and here what happened? Seed kept in same moist cotton. Here we kept in dry cotton. Here also moist cotton. Okay, and in this first test tube we are providing the temperature like 25 degrees Celsius. Here temperature we are giving 0 degrees Celsius, and here we are giving the temperature 25 degrees Celsius, and here also we are giving the temperature 25 degrees Celsius, and here we just add some boiled water also. In this test tube we just fill some boiled water, and above we put some oil also. These are the 4 cases. And now you see, first one, here temperature is 25 degrees Celsius, and we kept the seed in a moist cotton, and this test tube is made up of glass. So here air is also present. In this case the seed can germinate or not. Here we already discussed that 3 essential factors, that is water, air and right temperature, right? These 3 factors we are giving. Okay, so now you look at the first test tube, seed kept in moist cotton, providing the temperature 25 degrees Celsius, air is also present. This seed will germinate or not? Say yes or no. How many of you are saying yes? Just hands up. Yes, some are saying yes and some students are saying no. So actually in this case these three necessary factors are there or not? Yes. And in this test tube these three are present or not? Yes. And in this case the seed can germinate or not? Everyone say the answer. Yes, because these three necessary factors are present in this first case, so the seed can germinate. That means the first root will coming out. Okay. Second case, you see, seed kept in moist cotton. Water is there, air is also present. Then temperature, you see the temperature 0 degrees Celsius. In this case the seed can germinate or not? No, because of the absence of temperature the seed can't able to germinate. Then the third case, here we kept this seed in an dry cotton, then it has air and temperature is also there, right temperature, but it is dry cotton, it means absence of water. So the seed can germinate or not? No, because of the absence of water. And here what happens? Here that we kept this in a moist cotton, providing the temperature 25 degrees Celsius, and we add boiled water and oil also. Because of the lack of oxygen or lack of air can't reach up to here. So what will happen here also the seed can't able to germinate. So you should keep in mind that whenever a seed has to germinate, so that time the seed require these three necessary factors. If in the absence of any one of the factor the seed can't able to germinate, we should provide these three necessary factors in a right amount, or in an enough amount we have to provide water, air and right temperature or optimum temperature. If it is temperature is more or less, we should write it in optimum temperature or an right temperature for the germination of seed. Are you clear? So now we are going to discuss, that's all about this section, to deduce the necessary factors for germination, and we learned that there are three essential factors for germination: water, air and right temperature. And one more thing you have to keep in mind, some seed they require light also for germination. Some seed doesn't need light for germination. Some seeds require light for germination, some seeds doesn't want the light for germination. That's why here we are not adding the light as a necessary factor. Here these three are the necessary factors for germination: water, air and right temperature. Light is not a necessary factor, but for some seeds it will be a necessary factor for germination. That's all about our second lesson, germinating seed. We learned about germination. The formation of or transformation of seed to seedling is considered as germination, and the essential or necessary condition for germination: water, air and right temperature. Then for the germination of all kinds of plants, it's require these three condition. If in the absence of any one of these necessary factors, the seed can't able to germinate. Are you clear? Then can I ask you one question? Okay, it's like an yes or no question, like the same way. If we kept a seed in an oven, and we provide the temperature more than 50 degrees Celsius, more than 50 degree Celsius temperature we are providing to the oven. In that case, the seed can germinate or not? Say yes or no. Is it yes? No. Why? Because every time for the germination, not much temperature, right, or optimum amount of temperature only required for germination. If a seed for its germination, it require a right amount of temperature or optimum temperature. So, in this section we learns our keyword or new word is optimum temperature, So, that is all about these two lessons, and what you have to do, maybe you are already have your textbooks and all, and so you with your worksheet, you have your worksheet, and in worksheet S1 and S2 you just try to complete. If you are not getting the answer, then we will discuss it more. So, anyhow you just work it out, your worksheet S1 and S2, then that is all about this topic. And if it is possible, with this video I will add one more video like an cartoon, one germination technique. So, maybe you will be more, it will be more helpful for you. Okay, so that's all about our lesson. Then thank you.